Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And they are getting lined up, ready to go. Looks like they skipped they were trying to rush to get back going, so... Oops. We will be following the guys around Martinsville tonight as we're running into more technical difficulties. There we go. Now we can change the camera a little bit. Alrighty, there we go. Having some technical difficulties in the booth apparently too. But these things do happen as we are getting them lined up and ready to go. Looks like we have, starting up front, Nate Johnson, Brandon Shirley. Nate in the SK and Brandon in the Super Late model, followed by Vincent Tabe, Andy Turner, Bill Bussey Jr., all in SKs. And then in Super Late models, we have Harley Barletta, Tyler the Turtle Rush, Dave Gilbert, Kevin Bernheimer, Jason Chambers, Tyler Zegler, Austin Householder, Chris Wheeler. Tyler Zegler is also in an SK mod. And then we have Brendan Whitford in the SK mod as well. So, as these guys get lined up, ready to go, they will do a pace lap, and we'll see the pace car drop off for 100 laps at Martinsville. Just a quick refresher, since we had the technical difficulty and had to switch servers. We are Split Decision Short Track League, run every Monday night, broadcast right here on How to Suck at iRacing. These guys will be going 100 laps, and ladies and gentlemen, if you're in iRacing, come join us. Go find us on the Facebook page. Come join us on the in the races, and let's have a little fun. Alrighty, there we go. Now we're focused in on a driver that's there. And we've got Brendan there in the back. Work our way up to the front and watch. Now this will be an interesting start because we do have the mix of SKs and Super Late models at the front. We did have they had qualified, but obviously that didn't. They had problems. They were running the Nashville setup by accident. Thomas Myers put together Ziegler's paint job, so we'll have to go look at that here in a few minutes. And I am sure that at some point in the race we might even talk to Thomas. He is in the up in the booth tonight. He is adminning the race for us, so we're glad to have him helping us out. And looks like we have the pace car on pit road going green. They will take it on the flagman, and then here they come out of turn 4. There goes the green flag, and they are off. And obviously that Super Late model just powered down into the corner there. The SK mod dominates him back around the side, and Nate Johnson manages to hold his lead. But they are side by side into the corner. And we've got a spin coming off of turn 4. Let's work our way back here and see who all was involved in that. Obviously, we got a little difficulty tonight, but we will talk to Thomas here in a few minutes, and we'll try and get the replay of that here in a little bit. So we work through some of the technical difficulties tonight. It's definitely a bit different than our usual Monday night. Usually it goes much, much smoother. But as we run now, we've got Nate Johnson in that SK mod at the front, and then a line of super late models behind him. Brandon Shirley, Harley Barletta, Tyler the Turtle Rush, Kevin Bernheimer, Chris Wheeler, Austin Householder. Looks like Jason Chambers is on pit road. Then we've got the SKs of Tyler Ziegler, Andy Turner, and Brendan Whitford. And then Dave Gilbert in the super late model, and Vincent Tebe and Bill Bussey Jr. there in the SKs at the back. Now, as we said, we have 100 laps. They have one fast repair, unlimited tires, and they do have a full fuel load. And as we said previously, the full fuel load, both cars can make the distance. The super late model just won't go the distance on tires. It theoretically could, I think, but nobody out there is going to try that tonight. The SK mods, however, could go the distance on their tires, and we might see one or two of them give that a try. If we see anybody try it, it's going to be the number 35 car of Andy Turner. He's done that before, and I expect to see that trick pulled again, but we'll see how it plays out tonight. As we see, looks like one of the SK mods still on pit road. Looks like that was Tyler Ziegler. We'll try and go take a gander at him right quick. Looks like Bill Bussey Jr. is having some difficulty on pit road as well. Looks like he will be using his fast repair early, unfortunately. He was the car smoke, and there is Tyler Ziegler. And it looks like, I believe that's the car of Andy Turner coming off pit road right in front of him. Yes, indeed. And the number 4 there, the Jason Chambers running the Mountain Dew Blast. I do believe that is a Turtle Shells paint job tonight. And Dave Gilbert in the number 7. That's a Mark Martin throwback paint scheme. Tonight was the was the throwback for the super late models. Last week we did throwback for the SK mods. So some of those guys like Vincent Tebe had a Country Time Pink Lemonade paint job. So got some cool paint jobs. As the pace car is off, it will be a single file restart since they didn't complete the first lap. And here we go. Nate's going to try and get a good jump and get away from that super late model, but he is going to stay low to control the line because Brandon is just going to try and power by him on the straightaway. Nothing doing yet, though. As we see him back in the back of the field, folks, we're going to see some Dyson. These super late models will pass him on the straightaway, get up beside him, but that SK just is designed to turn left and nothing else. And we see a super late model battle going on in the back, or right behind Nate, and Nate is loving seeing this right now as Tyler the Turtle Rush moves up into second. Yes, Tyler is in second in the division, followed by Harley Barletta, but it's Brandon Shirley still leading the super late models, and Nate Johnson up there in the SK mods. As we see, they are just starting to settle in. They've got a long 90 laps to go ahead of them. We will get to see some side-by-side racing before long, but here's going to be the question: which car will be dominant tonight? It's anybody's race. We've seen the super late models be dominant at some tracks. As caution, we are back under caution. And it looks like Tyler Ziegler. Let's see if we can go to the replay. All right, let's see if we can see what happened to Tyler here. As he comes out of the turn, he just got loose and spun. And that does occasionally happen with these cars. Not too terribly often, though. They do have a ton of grip. And we are back live watching. It looks like he's got a little damage to the front end, but he hit that safer barrier. He got it woed up quite a bit, so we might not see him dive onto pit road. We'll watch him here for a minute, see if he makes a move toward pit road. As we talked about earlier, they have 100 laps, unlimited tires, unlimited fuel, but they can go the distance on the fuel, so we will see some different strategies tonight. I do expect guys like Andy Turner to go the distance in that SK mod. He will probably try and push that car to its limit. On his tires. We do see a pair of Mark Martin paint jobs out there tonight, actually. It looks like the 7 and the 71 are both running. So the 71 is going to be Chris Wheeler. He is also running a Mark Martin throwback scheme. While we're under caution once more, lap 15, we've still got 85 to go. These guys will get a long green flag run in before you know it. This is Martinsville Speedway, also known as the Paperclip. It is a flat 0.526 mile track. The turns are 12-degree banking, just pretty much insignificant banking, and 0 degrees on the straightaway. The corners are substantially tighter than most short tracks, and the straightaways are long, but you are getting on the throttle late and you're getting off the throttle early trying to get it woed up to make that turn. That's where the SKs definitely have the advantages in the corners. They get around these corners quite well, but these super late models with all that extra power, they can hustle down the backstretch. As we come to 1 to green, we see Nate Johnson and Brandon Shirley on the front row. We'll see Brandon get the lead down into turn 1, I'd imagine, and then Nate's going to come flying back by. Tyler the Turtle Rush and Harley Barletta behind him in the second row, and we'll talk some more about these guys as the race goes on. Here they come out of turn 4. Nate will control the restart now, and they've got the green. Nate is taking off, but it is Brandon Shirley who has the massive run down, and we're seeing 3 and 4 wide. Save it, Harley, save it. No! Caution is out again as they come. We'll see if we got some damage and who all pits. Now they've got 18 laps on their tires. Not a lot of green flag laps for these super late models, but they will want tires as often as possible. Reflective Gamer chiming in the chat. How's it going with you, sir? Having an interesting race here at Martinsville tonight. As we watch them come down, they'll be finishing 20 laps, most of which has been under caution, but I'd imagine after this we're going to see a little bit. They will restart single file this time. Do not believe they completed a lap. Before the caution came back out, they were getting a little squirrely back there. And I do believe Harley Barletta is probably on pit road, went to pit road and got repaired. Let's take a look here. And most of these guys are still out there. Looks like Dave Gilbert and Jason Chambers have pitted. They pitted on the lap 2 incident. And believe it or not, those 2-lap pressure tires may come into play before you know it. As far as the super, Chris Wheeler's on pit road, looks like, and Harley Barletta looks like he stayed out. Yes, indeed. And Chris Wheeler will be on fresh tires when he comes out. Vincent Tebe, Tyler Ziegler, and Bill Bussey Jr. are all at the back. Looks like Tyler might still be on pit road by the scoring, but we'll see how they do. Should see the lights out on the pace car. This has been a interesting. It's definitely been a Monday so far with the technical difficulties with the server and then a little bit of difficulty in the broadcast booth. But we'll have one fun addition here before long. We'll pull Thomas Myers in to talk to us a little bit. He is adminning the race tonight. And they are running for points. It is worth noting. Go take a quick look at the point situation for tonight. In the short track in the SK mods, you have Lucas Gortman, who I do not believe made it tonight. He is leading the SK points, followed by Andy Turner, but he's got a sizable lead on Andy, 37 points. So then it's Andy Turner, Nate Johnson, John Nichols, who doesn't appear to be here tonight, then Brendan Whitford, Cullen Johnston, James Colemansberger, and Bill Bussey. Bill has definitely has an opportunity to move up the points tonight while he's staying out there. He's currently running 5th. In the super late models, we have, as we get the 1 to green, Kevin Bernheimer, Tyler Rush, Dave Gilbert, Stephen Fish, and Austin Householder, the top 5. So we'll see how this plays out for points at the end of the night. You can check out Split Decisions webpage to see all the points for both of our current series. As we get the green flag, Brandon gets a good jump on the restart. He is off into turn 1 as we watch. Nate comes flying back by the 28 of Kevin Bernheimer. They are going to be battling it out side by side for a few laps. It'll be a question of who decides to give up first. As we watch him come out of the turn, and you see that SK mod gets a big run through the turn and off, but then that super late model just comes charging back through. And it looks like Nate might actually be closing in on Brandon a little bit. Currently looks like he's catching him by about 1 to 2 tenths every lap. So we should see a move for the front. Now they do run their separate divisions here in the short track series, as they do in the big series on Friday night. You've got the guys in the SK mods are running for their own points and running their own race, and the super late models are the same way. Oh, it looks like Thomas Myers is in the booth with us. Hey, Thomas, you got me? Oh, wait a minute. Did we take a look? Hey, Thomas, you with me?
I can hear you.
Well, that was definitely an interesting start to the race. What are the drivers saying?
I haven't been able to get much feedback from them because I've been bouncing back and forth between replays just trying to see what all is going on out there, but it definitely looks like the track's got grip and it's just a little what they call snappy loose.
Well, that'll definitely, we saw it get a little snappy loose in the super late models, and that's really the first time we've seen that in this series. Most of the time we're watching the super late models just grip and go. Or I'm sorry, the SK mods.
We had a similar issue to that at Bristol, as I recall, because I was actually out in that one. Early on, they'd be just nice and snug, but then all of a sudden they would tighten up so bad that coming out of the turns, they would just break loose on you.
And you said you, whose car was it you painted again? I know I've just went Tyler's, was it not?
Yes, it was Tyler's SK mod. He hit me up following last week's race where he made his debut, and what I did was I had him send me the decals for the sponsors he wanted. He sent me an idea for the color scheme he wanted. He found the hex codes, and then I went into the science lab, I guess you could call it, and put it together much like I did with my truck that I run on Friday night.
It was definitely a good looking car. Hopefully we'll get him back out on the track before long.
I'm hoping so too. I'm going to have to head down there and probably check on him on the radio here in a second.
All right, we'll let you get back to it. We'll probably holler at you later in the race and see what they're saying.
10-4.
Thank you, sir. That was Thomas Myers adminning the race tonight. Thankful to have him helping out. Martinsville is a tricky enough track, but if you're adminning and driving, that's definitely a handful as we've seen in the past. Especially with these short tracks and multiple car types on the track together. And we're looking at Tyler Rush. The Turtle is running in second place, but he has been chased down by Jason Chambers in that Mountain Dew, was that? I cannot remember all the Mountain Dew flavors at this point. But the Mountain Dew car. And those are both Turtle Shell's designs, I do believe. And we're about to see a move for second place as we're coming to lap 34 laps down. About 65 more laps to go. They are battling in these cars, and now these super late models, they have been out there for this whole run. Except for a few back there, further back in the pack, we have a few guys on newer tires. But, oh, the 4 gets into the 27, gives him a little love tap. Trying to rattle his cage a little. Oh, and then the 27 gets a little too far into the turn. Comes up off of turn 4, gets it straightened out, and they are lined back up. That was good of Jason, held back and could have taken advantage, but might have taken the 27 out. He was patient and held back as we see 2 more cars closing in behind him. That is Dave Gilbert in the 7, Kevin Bernheimer in the 28. And the 75 back there, Austin Householder. Don't count any of these guys out yet. They definitely... Dave Gilbert's had the right strategy for the last couple of races, so this will be interesting to see what comes of it. And we move back up, and there is Brandon Shirley. He is giving up the overall race lead to this man, Nate Johnson, who seems to have checked out. Now remember, these cars were running pretty close lap times early in the run, but the super late models have a lot more fall off on the tires. So we will see that on fresh tires they will run side by side, but after a while those SK mods and their ability to get through the corners so quickly, that's just going to do nothing but run away. Even with the lower power, on the straightaways, that advantage through the corners is going to pay off in the long run. But I can tell you these super late model guys, they are not going to give up yet. Every race that's been entertaining during practice session, they're talking about one car is faster than the other, and then it becomes a goal to try and beat the other car. Whoever's faster at any given track, they are trying to beat. As we see Tyler Ziegler back out on track now after some significant repairs. We'll see if he is up to speed. Looks like he still has some damage, probably used his fast repair earlier or has had some sort of difficulty, but he is back out. Let's see, Tyler is showing 23 laps down, but he's going to keep fighting. As we mentioned earlier, they are in a points race. Looks like we've got about 8 super late models tonight, but only 6 SK mods tonight. So that definitely, him sticking it out, this being his second week, him sticking it out, turning those laps, taking advantage of any position he can pick up, will definitely pay off in the points. And we see Nate starting to close in on these super late models of Harley Barletta and Chris Wheeler. Harley in the 81 Exalta car, Chris in the 71 Mark Martin paint scheme. And I do believe that is Mark Martin's paint scheme from when he was actually running late models and super late models before he moved into the NASCAR Cup and or Busch and Cup Series. And we are back under caution as it looks like the 7, Dave Gilbert, and the 23 got together. Let's try and go to the replay and see if we can figure out what happened here. All right. Looks like we might have found an issue here. We see him coming down the straightaway. Dave's there to the inside, and the 23 the 28 of Kevin Bernheimer just tries to get up underneath them. Did not get the line, and they spun, and both of them were wise and held the brakes and waited for everybody to get by, and then they got cleared out. Kevin was nice and sat there and waited for Dave to get backed up. So good on both of them. And these guys are definitely gentlemen when they're on the track despite being heavy competitors. And we are back live. Let's see who goes. I imagine we're going to see pretty much all the super late models on pit road as we're watching. Some of these guys are getting their laps back. They will wave around as needed. Well, it looks like we will get to halfway. Probably go live right at, or go green right at halfway. As we see, the 81 Harley Barletta is on pit road. Austin Householder's on pit road as well. Austin and Harley have both been out since the green flag on their tires. Interesting strategy. Some of these guys are looking like they're going to try and push it. With the caution laps, they might be able to do it. If they get a long green flag run, they're going to be in trouble. And they will probably have to make some green flag stops. In the super late models, we know that here that you're going to lose probably 2 laps under green, maybe 3. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how strategy plays out. And we all know Dave Gilbert in that number 7 car, he definitely will play the strategy game, save some tires, wait as late as he can to pit, and end up with an advantage at the end of the night. He did that at North Wilkesboro and came in for the win in the super late model, so he definitely knows it. But talking about strategy, these SK mods, these guys aren't really going to notice the tire wear to the extent that the super late models do. They're built specifically for turning left, bigger tires on the right side than on the left. All the weights move to the left side. They're designed to turn nothing but left. We actually did them on a road course over the weekend, and that was definitely interesting. It was fun, but it was interesting because they do handle differently on right-hand corners versus left-hand corners. So you notice that they got through left-handers really, really well, but right-handers, they got really, really loose. So it looks like we are lining up. We've got 1 to green. Lights are out on the pace car. Pace car is off down pit road. We'll watch Nate Johnson, Brendan Whitford taking the green flag side by side. Nate controls the restart and he is off. Gets a good jump on Brendan, giving Andy Turner the chance to drop to the inside. And we have seen Andy Turner stretch those tires, stretch the fuel, stretch the strategy. And look, there's the number 29. Brendan Shirley, he is fighting his way back to the front. Powering by these guys on the front straightaway. They are running side by side. And we've got another accident in the back of the field. Looks like Tyler the Turtle Rush might have been involved. Let's go try and take a look at the replay. All right, let's see. Tyler is running through there. The 71. Tyler checks up just a little bit. The 71 collects him. The 75 gets into him. Everybody else manages to get around, but looked like they had some difficulty getting down there in the corner. Everybody has a slightly different braking point and entry to that corner, so to both ends. Definitely is making for one heck of a night. And we see Tyler is still out on track. He's got the the 71 is in front of him. As we move back up through the field, and I know some of these guys that just stopped on that last pit stop, they are loving this. They're going to try and stretch those tires out as long as they can. Guys like Brendan Shirley up there at the front, Harley Barletta, they definitely want to see a little bit longer, a little bit more cautions. They want to try and make it the distance on what they have left and continue to put on these short runs, those super late models can actually pass those SKs as we saw. So they'll be moving up to the front. They'll put a couple of SKs in between them and the other cars and give themselves an advantage. And there's your leader, Nate Johnson, being followed by Brendan Shirley in the super late model, Harley Barletta. And Nate's closest competition, Andy Turner, slipped back there. He's currently running 4th on track, 2nd in his division in the SKs. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about getting some cars in between them. Those two, that super late model, or I'm sorry, that SK of Nate Johnson is loving having these super late models behind him, just like they are loving having Andy Turner right behind him. Because I promise you, having raced with all these guys, Harley is watching in his mirror for that number 4 car. And Jason will come up from behind and pass you before you know what hit you. As we are at 45 laps to go. Despite the cautions, this race is actually running pretty quickly, and we're getting word from the booth. The Thomas Myers telling us the track is cooling off a little bit. That will definitely increase their grip as they go through the corners. That's only gonna help the super late models. The SK mods will get some advantage, but like we talked about, they handle great anyway at this track. It might actually loosen some of those SKs up a little bit, giving those super late models a little more grip. We're going to see a little more side-by-side action between these car types. As we watch them come around the corner, Nate Johnson will control the restart, and Brendan is just going to lay back and try and get one heck of a run on this restart. There they go, and watch Brendan just charge by, and Harley Barletta is moving to the outside of Nate Johnson as they go through 1 and 2. They are pushing hard. They both drift up the number 4. Jason Chambers already looking to the inside of Harley Barletta. As we watch Nate Johnson just run away from the rest of the field, and caution is out yet again. It looks like the 75 was involved again. Let's see if we can figure out what happened there. All right, looks like they were going 3 and trying to go 4 wide through the corner. The 27 and 75 got together. Looked like the 75 tried to check up and just had nowhere to go. Austin Householder had just no space left there. He did his best to not get in the back of that SK mod, but sometimes there's just no way to avoid it. Now, I do want to tell you all, definitely tune in on Friday night to PTM Racing TV. You will see the big boys running. The Cup, Trucks, and Xfinity on track together. And let's see, where are we? We are at Rockingham this Friday. And that will be an exciting race. 85 minutes with all 3 cars on track. Will definitely be one heck of a race. There will be different lines we'll be pushing. I do believe that the trucks will be running Maconi setup because there's not a setup for the Rockingham track for the trucks. So the Xfinity and Cup will be running the standard iRacing, and the trucks will be running a Maconi setup. That will definitely make for one heck of an interesting race. Last time we did that, we had that situation. It was at Indianapolis, and the trucks were running very close to Cup on fresh tires. They stayed in the draft with us. And I'm getting word from the booth, incident points are going to come into play here before long. So at an 18X, the guys will get a drive-through penalty, and at I believe 22X, we'll see him have to get disqualified. Let's double check my numbers here shortly, but this is part of short track racing, folks. These guys try to keep it clean, but sometimes you just can't avoid it. Yeah, at 18 laps they will, or at 18X, excuse me, they get a drive-through penalty, and at 22 is a disqualification. So we're going to see some of that come into play possibly. And I did get a confirmation the trucks are running McConey setup come Friday night. Makes me wish I was running a truck, because that they have the downforce advantage for sure. They won't wear out their tires as much, and with that McConey setup, they're going to be a handful for the Xfinity cars for sure, and for us Cup guys, they might be an even bigger handful. That will definitely make for an interesting race. As we watch, they are going to be single file on this restart. Looks like Nate Johnson is going to lead him down. We'll see the 29 come charging back by him momentarily, I'm sure, but that will not last. We'll see how long these tires last, though. That's going to be the question mark for these front guys. As we see Brandon Shirley dive off into turn 1. Nate Johnson just powers back by him on the corner, but here they come back down the straight. And we've seen those two side by side a lot tonight as they go through 3 and 4. Obviously, Nate having the advantage in the corners is paying off, especially considering Brandon's got 20 laps on those super late model tires. He will have a difficult night. As we see Nate Johnson coming into 35 laps to go, he is still leading. He's been the dominant car tonight. And it looks like we got one coming to pit road. Looks like Vincent Tebe ran out of luck again this week. Sorry to see that. Vincent's a great driver. He has just had the worst racing luck the last few weeks. Hopefully, looked like he qualified like he was going to turn that around tonight. Hopefully next week or this coming Friday, we'll see him be dominant in the truck race at Rockingham. And maybe we'll get to see him be dominant next Monday as well. Nate Johnson still leads. He's actually starting to put a gap. And the tires on Brandon Shirley are starting to slow him down a little bit. Last lap, he was 0.2 of a second slower than the SK mods, and that's only going to get worse. We should start seeing some of these SK mods coming through the field. As I mentioned, we did have a little bit of technical difficulties earlier, and it looks like some of them may have carried over. As we see Tyler Ziegler, he has actually regained a couple of his laps. He's trying to move up. Bill Bussey Jr. there in the 19, he is loving this. He's currently running 4th in the SKs. He is actually going to be very happy with it because he's going to pick up quite a few spots in the points, I'd imagine, after tonight. 30 laps to go. We should start seeing these super late models slowing down even more as we watch the two SKs trying to get to the outside, ducking to the inside. We're looking at the 131 Brendan Whitford. And the 127 Vincent Tebe back out there. Vincent looks like he's got some fresh tires and fuel, and he is going to come storming through the field. 24 incident points is the DQ tonight, not 22. Had my notes wrong. 75 of Austin Householder, currently running 8th in the super late models. There is the 35 of Andy Turner. He is still, I guarantee it, let's take a quick look. He is still on his original set of tires. He is yet to change tires this season. He might still be running the same set of tires he was running 2 races ago in Nashville. And we see the 7 and 71, Chris Wheeler, Dave Gilbert. They are battling it out for 6th and 7th in the super late models. Looks like Chris is getting a little bit of a run, but Dave is getting through the corners a little bit better tonight. And they are both trying to chase down that 27, Tyler the Turtle Rush. He's currently running in 5th, and he is currently, that last lap was faster than every super late model except for the leader, Brandon Shirley. Harley Barletta trying to chase down Kevin Bernheimer. We see them both right there. Kevin Bernheimer running that old school Kodiak tobacco paint scheme. We'll have to talk to one of these guys about running an old Copenhagen scheme. I'd love to see one of those old Copenhagen paints back. We have seen the old Skull paint and several others over the last few weeks. And anytime you run super late models, you see some of these old paint jobs, and I absolutely love it. So these throwback paint jobs are just awesome, and they should do this every week. They would definitely get, as we're watching the three-wide battle, the 81 of Harley Barletta trying to hold off Tyler the Turtle Rush and Kevin Bernheimer. I don't think with those two behind him, I don't know how long Harley can hold it off unless he has been saving some tires. Kevin Bernheimer and Tyler the Turtle Rush both have fresher tires. By 1 lap, let's see, Kevin has 1 lap fresher tires. Tyler has about 7 laps fresher tires. So they're all on slightly different, and we are back under caution. Let's run through the field real quick and see if we can determine. Let's ask hey Thomas, you back with us?
Yes, sir.
Didn't see who caught that caution. Who was the incident this time?
It looked like Vincent Tebe came across Dave's nose, and it just resulted in a spin.
Alright, 10-4. We'll try and pull that replay up. Alright, let's see if we can go to the replay. It's unusual to have the difficulties we've had tonight, but we will soldier on. It's great having Thomas in the booth for this. Definitely makes our job a lot easier having him up there. As there is Dave Gilbert going off into the turn. And, Vincent was trying to avoid a collision and ended up getting into one. Looks like Dave got a little bit worse for the wear, but not too terribly bad. He got it woed up. And I do believe with 18 laps to go, Dave probably got tires, and I would expect to, yep, here he comes down pit road. Dave is coming to get some fresh tires. 18 laps to go. We've seen this story before with Dave. He comes in, late caution, gets fresh tires, goes on to win the race. We saw it at North Wilkesboro. We almost saw it at Nashville. So this will be, we'll be definitely looking for him once we go green. Now Nate Johnson is out there, 84 laps on his tires. He's not going to stop. Andy Turner, same situation. He is not going to stop. Brendan Whitford, he is on the only SK mod on fresh tires, 25 laps. I take that back. Bill Bussey Jr., he's got 2-lap-old tires, but he is a few laps down, as does Vincent Tebe. And Tyler Ziegler is on fresher tires. So basically, our 3 SK mods that are still on the lead lap, the only one of them that has fresh tires is Brendan Whitford. The other 2 have been on their tires since the beginning. Brendan's been on them for 26 laps, and he is right behind his main competition. As we get the 1 to green, we see Nate Johnson on the inside, then Brandon Shirley, Jason Chambers, Tyler Rush. Those 3 at the super late models right there. Saw quite a battle going on earlier. Then we have Andy Turner, Brendan Whitford, and back to the super late models, Kevin Bernheimer and Harley Barletta, Chris Wheeler, Dave Gilbert, and Austin Householder. Look for Dave Gilbert to start making some moves here, folks. We have learned not to count him out as we go 3 wide into turn 1 and 2. The Nate Johnson backs out of it. The 29 and 4 are side by side coming out of the corner. Looks like Brandon Shirley is going to take the lead, and 3 super late models just passed the SK on the restart. It'll be interesting to see how that affects these guys as they come down with 14 laps to go. Will their different tire strategies pay off? Will they be able to hold that SK mod off? Will we see kind of the upset we've been waiting to see for a few weeks? Generally what we have seen in practice is whichever one is faster, even by 1 or 2 tenths, is usually the dominant one in the race. We've seen Nate Johnson just dominate tonight, but on this restart we've got 3 super late models charging to the front. The 29 of Brandon Shirley, Jason Chambers, Tyler the Turtle Rush. Running 1, 2, 3, the first time we've had super late models leading the race all night. And Nate Johnson is just hanging around back there. I would imagine with 12 to go, these guys are pushing hard. They're going to eat their tires. Nate Johnson's going to come up. How will having that SK up there play into their strategy in the end of the race? Will it affect these top 3 at all? Back behind him, we see Kevin Bernheimer. He is in 4th in the super late model, and Dave Gilbert's already moved up. He restarted in 7th place. He's already moved up to 5th. I expect to see him coming into shot before long, chasing down Bernheimer. Harley Barletta has slipped back to 6th. Chris Wheeler is in 7th currently. We'll go 10 laps to go. We'll keep an eye on the front of the pack for the remainder. Tell you what, before we do that, let's go take a quick look around. There's Bill Bussey Jr. Currently, he is in 4th place in the SK Mods. As we see, Tyler Ziegler, Vincent Tebe is still out there. We've got quite a few of these guys still out here. There's Austin Householder in that number 75. Harley Barletta right behind him in the 81. Then we've got Chris Wheeler chasing down Dave Gilbert, but Dave is definitely chasing down Kevin Bernheimer. They are running almost identical laps as they pass the SK mod on the straightaway. And there's Kevin Bernheimer. He is currently in 4th in the super late models, and they are all chasing that SK mod of Nate Johnson, who is closed up on Tyler the Turtle Rush. This might come into play. Will he let him be, or will he pass him? Get side by side, slow down these super late models. 6 laps to go. Looks like Nate Johnson has a 5-second lead over Brendan Whitford. I don't think he's going to close that gap. I don't think Brendan's going to close that gap. Nate Johnson presumably will end up winning, but we're going to see. We're going to scoot up and watch Tyler here. The 4 of Jason Chambers, we are back under caution. 5 to go. And it looks like Kevin Bernheimer had some problems. Let's go to the replay. Alright, let's watch and see what happens. Kevin comes off of turn 4. He gets loose, gets it woed up, hits the inside wall just a bit, but it was enough. He was stopped on the inside, nowhere to go. Holds it up to let everybody by, gets back on track, and we are going to see a little bit of a shakeup. As we see, looks like the 81 of Harley Barletta is on pit road. There's Kevin Bernheimer. Looks like he's still got some damage. Probably used his fast repair earlier in the race. 75 of Austin Householder moves up into 7th. Chris Wheeler, I'm sorry, he moved up into 6th. Chris Wheeler is 5th in the super late models. Dave Gilbert's moved up to 4th. He's got to get past the SK mod of Nate Johnson on this restart to try and get up there and battle with these three gentlemen right here. Tyler the Turtle Rush, Jason Chambers, Brandon Shirley. As we get 3 to go, we should see a restart here momentarily, and we will see one heck of a race for the finish. Do not know if Brendan can get past and get close enough to do anything.
Going to green, white, checker.
10-4, thank you, Thomas. We are going to green, white, checkered.
Also to report, we have Vincent Tebe out for disqualification due to incident points.
That's good to know. So Vincent Tebe's out. What are they saying on the track? Are they looking forward to a green, white, checker here?
They are thrilled that we are going green, white, checker.
I'm sure that Brandon was not happy to see that, but seeing Dave chase him down again.
Nobody's usually happy to see a caution come out this late, but as long as you know there's a green, white checker, it definitely builds the adrenaline a little bit.
That it does, and we've got Dave up there with semi-fresh tires, just like we saw at North Wilkesboro. Might see something happen there.
Yeah, definitely might see something happen there, but I'm going to jump back over here to pay close attention to this finish and make sure we get the correct winners over here for you.
All right, thanks, Thomas. That was Thomas Myers, one of our admins. He is running the booth tonight. I'm glad to have his help. As we're going to see Dave Gilbert restarting on the inside. He's definitely going to be the one to watch. Jason Chambers, Brandon Shirley has been the fastest in these in these super late models tonight, so this will be interesting. Plus, they've got the SK mod up there. As we watch the pace car dives off, they go through 3 and 4. Brandon will control the restart whenever he is ready. He will put the power down. They all get tightened up, and Brandon gets a good jump over Jason Chambers. Tyler the Turtle Rush is diving it into one. And there is Dave Gilbert closing up from behind. Does he have enough time left to close the distance? I don't think he does. The 29 and the 4 are going to be battling for the lead here at the end. But Tyler the Turtle Rush is not done yet. They have come to the white flag. 1 to go. They will not get another caution. This is it. As they come down the back stretch, Brandon gets a lead. We are watching the battle for second place. Tyler, Jason slides up. Tyler goes down underneath. Dave is not close enough to capitalize on it. Brandon Shirley wins. Nate Johnson wins in the SK mods, and Tyler the Turtle Rush comes in second. Jason Chambers third. Dave Gilbert fourth. Looks like Chris Wheeler will take fifth in the, and they're having a little post-race fun down here. Let's go find our winners. We should be finding a couple of guys getting some help here on the front straightaway. There's Brandon. Here we go. There's Brandon. He is getting down there, and we're going to get to see a burnout. We should have Brandon in the booth with us momentarily.
Got the Brandon and Brendan show headed your way.
All right, great. The Brandon and Brendan show. We'll have to remember that one for future reference. Brendan Shirley, how are you?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Great race. You were pretty dominant in the super late.
Yeah, I don't know. I really didn't want to see that green-white checker at the end.
I imagine not, but I was quite surprised to see you actually, you guys, on the second to last caution, you guys managed to get around the SK mods. That was impressive.
Yeah, I don't remember it's 1 and 2, 3 and 4, but I looked to my inside and see Jason there. I was not expecting to see that. That's when I knew how to get up on the wheel and drive away.
Well, that was definitely a great race, a great win, and definitely a shocker to see the super late model beat the SK. Was expecting a close race between the two, most of it, but that one was definitely a shocker.
Yeah, he had me for most of it on the fresh tires. About halfway through, I think I could have kept up with him, but I would have burned my tires up. So I just let him go.
And it looks like we got Brendan Whitford with us now. The we're gonna call this the Brandon and Brendan show.
How you doing, Doug?
I'm good. Dominant race, sir. Congratulations.
Consistency and the green-white checkered paid off.
Yeah, it looked like it did. You actually had quite a gap on Nate on that restart. Didn't think you would. Didn't think anybody would be able to catch you.
I was worried about Andy, but then Austin plowed a hole for me, and I just kind of followed him into the turn, and it gave me the jump out of 4.
Well, it definitely worked out, and you guys put on one heck of a show tonight.
Appreciate it.
Well, congratulations to both of you. Go and celebrate. Continue doing burnouts, and go drink.
That was fun. First one of the year, too.
Yeah, congratulations, guys. Go celebrate. Have a good time. Drink a cold one.
Have a
Oh,
good
for
one.
sure.
All right, thanks, guys. All right. Another great race for the Split Decisions Racing League's Short Track Series. And again, you guys can tune in Friday night on PTM Racing TV to see the big cars running. We'll be having the trucks, Xfinity and Cup at Rockingham this Friday. I'll be streaming from my in-car tomorrow night. We'll have the Gas and Go series. No, don't remember where we're going to be tomorrow night, but we've got. You can definitely tune in anytime. We'll have lots of streams throughout the week, and a lot of great racing to look forward to this week. And for everybody from Split Decisions Racing, we thank you for tuning in. Special thanks to Dave Gilbert for putting all this together, as usual. And y'all have a wonderful evening.